What's going on, guys?
That intro is just not as good as our Grody intro.
Yeah.
I hate StreamYard at this point.
Not quite the same.
And yeah, whenever I'm doing that, I have to play the video, and it's a share screen, and it's a pain in the ass trying to do it that way.
I will say, the 16 and the 17 on that little countdown, that was a little bit of a cliffhanger. Like, I was kind of sold on the 16. After that, I was lost.
Yeah. The punchline's just completely gone at that point.
Yeah, I hear that. What's going on, everybody? I thought we'd take on the topic that the golden age storytelling is dead, and I've heard it whispered a couple times that it's not one that people really want to partake of unless you're already got a big name attached to it. But the perception of writing golden age style comics being lazy storytelling often stems from modern readers about the simplistic narrative and the tropes that go along with it.
I gotta ask though. I gotta ask to set the record straight on what golden age writing is, because kind of define it in your opinion, because when I think of golden age writing, I don't think it's 100% dry or go ahead, explain it. And I think there are some pretty cool stories out there, but
there are. But as a whole, hang on, let's check out the chat real quick. We got Zombie Boy up in here. What's going on?
What's up, Zombie?
And it seems other than Peter and Stanley, Zombie's the only one here, which is fine. That works for me. We're not a big channel. What do you expect? But
hey, man.
When it comes to golden age storytelling, what I'm talking about is overly simplistic plots. It's often just straightforward from point A to point B. Hardly any obstacles in the way of our heroes or our protagonists, mind you. And then the hero versus villains, the moral dichotomy of stuff, the quick resolutions at the end of the books, and then
very formulaic.
Very formulaic. Yes, it's very derivative of.
I imagine this Fantastic Four cartoon, the old one where it had the Magneto was I don't know, screwing shit up, and then Mr. Fantastic's like, "Do you just hold it there, Mr. Magneto, or else I'm gonna zap you?" And he's like, "His gun! I can't do anything to his gun. He's defeated my power." And it's real okay, bro.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I got on that, you were talking about how it's really linear, real A to B, B to C kind of storytelling. So I'm a huge fan of good storytelling. I love a good story. And one of the things, if I'm trying to tell a story, one of the things that I always go back to is, and Peter, you've heard me say this several times over. Sorry if I'm beating a dead horse, but Matt Stone and Trey Parker, the guys who created South Park, they actually give presentations on storytelling and stuff like that. And one of their things that they are always talking about is that you should never have and then. You should never have and then in a story. It should always be but or therefore. So if you have a story that says character A does this, and then character B does this, and then character A does this, that you got to get rid of the and then.
Because it correlates. If you have a therefore,
does this, but character B does this, therefore character A does this. Just changing the frame of mind and how you do your story is impactful when you're making.
And I think 100%. I could see that in relation to their movies. Although South Park, I think, is very and then, right? It's and then, and I want to choose and then.
Now, I'm not saying that South Park is an artistic thing at all. But I mean, if you actually look at it, it's not an and then. They do a thing that'll be kind of weird, and then you can probably see it's probably really formulaic. If you sit there and see, they literally will take the and then they're going to make it the but or the therefore, and it's going to be formulaic. You're going to watch their episode, and they're going to have this thing beaten down to such a template that it's oh yeah, I see exactly the but or therefore, that they had in their little pitch meeting.
But that's kind of the problem with the writing that Jake's bringing up here, is that there's a lot of that going on. You know what I mean? There's a lot of this real formulaic shit, and I don't know if I'd correlate that with Golden Age though. That's the one thing that I'm kind of like, I don't know, because like Creepshow, was that Golden Age or is that like post Silver Age?
Oh, I'm not sure. That's
probably Silver Age, but the concept being like a lot of stories and dialogue and everything. It had more story, in my opinion. You know what I mean? There's then you get like 90s comics where and 80s and 90s and stuff where they have some really interesting concepts, but but it's all art, right? Like they don't get too deep with it. I mean, they have interesting concept, but it's all artwork. That's
you also have to look at the generational, like the style, like in the generations, like the storytelling that they did in the 1950s was generic. I mean, it was I forget that it was campy is like the way to describe stuff from like the 50s and the 60s and 70s is even real similar, but they started to get away from the campy. They started to get into like, hey, we can do more with this. We can go with a little bit deeper story. In the 90s, I think, is when you really saw the evolution of a story, especially like when you're talking about like comic books. I would venture to say that it also happened in like movies where you got a lot more rich kind of storytelling. You didn't get American History X in 1955.
Right.
You got Citizen Kane. Honestly, I think some of the best stories were written back then. Like maybe deeper, more rich in like morals and
prolific
values
in the 90s. I mean, you saw it in like B-rate. What was that movie where the guy had all the photographs? Memento.
Yeah,
like that was pretty clever. Commonplace B-side movie in the 90s.
Yeah, and that's kind of bizarre because that's very cleverly directed. But yeah, you're right. That was like not a mainstream movie. It wasn't a high budget movie.
If they'd have done that in like 1952, that thing would have won an Oscar.
Yeah.
If you filmed fucking Tommy Boy in 1952, it would have been an Oscar.
Yeah, well said. Well said. And I don't know who they'd have been competing against in 1952. Let me see before I say that.
50s. We're looking at what? That's Marlon Brando.
Okay, so 1952, the Best Picture award went to The Greatest Show on Earth.
When was Race Car Named Desire? That was like 52 is going to be like what? Right after silent films.
Yeah,
Race Car Named Desire was 1951.
Okay, yeah. Streetcar Named Desire.
Streetcar Named, sorry, Race Car.
Yeah.
So when I'm talking Golden Age, I'm talking about comics that are basically 1930s, 1950s, 1930s to the 50s. That's Golden Age storytelling. Okay. Silver Age got
like your Supermans and your
Supermans, yes.
You're like Fantastic Comics, Tales for the Weekend,
Superman, stuff like that, right?
100%. A lot of anthologies. So
you don't think that could be done now?
No, it can be, but the problem is there's a lot of lazy writing going on with a lot of characters, and not like it's indies and mainstream. In fact, mainstream, I would take a stab and say that mainstream is worse because they're not doing anything interesting, and they haven't in a minute. Like it's been a minute.
Well, the mainstream has focused solely on just making it about identity politics, right? So there's not and we're so focused on that, nobody's really going into the comics and looking and reading the stories anymore. The last thing I've heard people bitching about is Tom King with Supergirl, right?
Yeah, but that's not like deep writing, right? That was just it's deeper than what they've done with Supergirl in the past. But as far as stories in general go, you think that story like holds weight against something like
just because Tom King had a bad run on Batman doesn't mean every fucking thing he writes is going to be bad.
Yes, it does. It means every fucking thing he writes.
That is disingenuous because Eric Larson is a great writer when it comes to like detective and suspenseful stories, right?
Yeah.
And I've got his book, The Devil in the White City, and it's not as great as his earlier work because he's getting older. Of course, it's going to start weighing down or going off the rails a little bit, but it's still good storytelling. And so when it comes to stories like 1930s, where it's very laid out to where the protagonist just meets the antagonist, they have their bout, and then it's over with a victory. That is very simplistic and very bland. And with us being in the indie circuit, that is not going to fulfill somebody's desire of reading a comic. That's a third grader's book at that point.
I've got a few things on that one.
Sure.
I think in some regards, it's we might need some more of that, but not necessarily the way it's coming out now. But one of the things that they would focus on was less about the story, right? Like, okay, so we're on planet whatever, and then this alien race is coming to take out our hero. So hero comes up with some pseudo clever way to defeat the alien race, right? It was never about the battle between the alien and the human. It was about his integrity, right? It was like to show how to be a decent human being. There was aspects of the storytelling that are almost completely forgotten by today's standards. And so writing a golden age story, I think, could work if you focus on what was good about those stories. The problem that I'm seeing lately is that it is literally a dry story where it's like, hey, our hero walks into town and then does this thing, and then eventually it leads to this thing, and now he's doing this, and good for him.
Yeah, you know what? I got to add on to that.
I don't give a shit about the character.
So I'm a big fan of good storytelling, and I like the best stories that are being written out there, and some of them are really rich. Some of them, they require a second read through. They require you to go back and be like, oh my God, that's what was going on back then. I didn't even know. It blows my mind. So I enjoy good storytelling like that. Now, that having been said, so initially I was like, yeah, Golden Age, fuck them. I want good storytelling. We have developed to the point where we get good stories now. However, I can absolutely see how you could do a good Golden Age story if you actually took some time to craft a good story along the lines. A perfect example, one that I love going back to, is like Jurassic Park is a wonderful story. It is the greatest movie of all time. It's one of the best stories of all time. And it's not just because it's, dinosaurs, and let's see dinosaurs for the first time that we had ever seen actual dinosaurs on screen. It was also little things that they did in that movie, like the foreshadowing that they do in it. In the helicopter scene where they are first going to the island, Alan Grant is sitting there. He can't figure out how to buckle the seatbelt because he's an idiot. He's the guide. But what is going on is he has the two buckles are both female ends, and they don't work because female and female doesn't work. One of the main things of the story is that life will find a way. And what does he do? He ties a knot in it. He finds a way. Like, you use elements like that to tell a good story, and it doesn't matter if it's a simplistic story. You can still have deep and rich storytelling elements in a simple story.
Jurassic Park. You're saying Jurassic Park's a simple story, though?
It technically is.
I wouldn't. But I would also say that for somebody who wasn't aware of some of the things that they did in that movie, like that, the foreshadowing kind of stuff, it is a lot deeper story after you know those things that are going on.
In the book, yeah, definitely. The movie, it is kind of like real basic. It's like, okay, Dinosaur Park goes wrong. Escape from Dinosaur Park, and it's got more than that, obviously. And I love that movie. Don't get me wrong; it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I still remember watching that thing in theaters like 4 or 5 times.
I remember seeing it at the theater on Staples.
I remember seeing it with our family. Like, we saw it, and then we brought the whole family, the whole Orchard clan. And I remember like dinosaurs are coming out, and my aunt's in the background, like she's like a seat behind me, and I'm like 9 years old or some shit, 7 years old. And my aunt's like, that dinosaur's going to get you. He's going to get you. Look at it. Hey, Preston, he's going to kill that guy. And I'm like, shut up. Like, how you get embarrassed when your family's sitting there laughing and ruining the movie, even though it's the 5th time you've seen the movie. They ruined Independence Day for me too. The best times.
I want to say, when we went and saw Jurassic Park, they had a poster for Island of Dr. Moreau on the wall. Like that was one of the movies we saw subsequently, like afterwards. I think it was like a year later, but which was an absolute travesty of a movie and a terrible story.
Shoot.
I like the story, but it's a basic story. It's simple. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. It's the Hulk. It's
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. It's like, let's throw them on this planet, this island of like reject misfit toys, and then let's just let Marlon Brando do whatever the fuck he wants. Like we don't care.
That's a weird time for Marlon Brando, right? We were talking about A Streetcar Named Desire earlier. It's like his high point. It's like the high point of his physique, you could say, but I'd say the high point of his career was like Apocalypse Now, right? That's when people had all this respect for him. By the time he's doing that movie, he was like C-list, a borderline C-list actor at that point.
And they still just let him run away with it, like whatever. That's a story for a different day.
I mean, it's Marlon Brando. You want to like respect him, but he's in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which I think his role in that was just a revamped version of the Apocalypse Now. Like that's who they wanted in that as that character. And that movie, of course, bombed. Now, this is a little bit later than Golden Age, but like Bernie Wright's in Freak Show, right? Okay. Now the story, I like that. It's not quite Golden Age, but it is. I don't know what you call it. It's like very classical style. I don't know. It's similar. It's in the similar vein of those old school Golden Age comics. That was one of the best books out there artistically, and there's a lot of like dialogue. There's a lot of what do you call that, exposition and stuff. But man, dude, that book is awesome.
Well, see, the Golden Age when it comes to like limited artistic, freedom, or just being able to like convey something on a page, or the narrative scope, people want to like make an excuse for it, like tight deadlines when you're working for the paper, low budgets because it's fucking comic books during the war, for crying out loud. And then like the censorship versus during the Comics Code Authority, right? And the stories, they were often short, self-contained, like one-offs, right? Yeah. Like you would have one story take place, and like, I don't know, back then, I guess comic books were like 12 pages or some shit. But there's not a lot that you can do in just 12 pages of story. There's enough time to introduce your characters, make a quick little obstacle for them to overcome, and then conclude it by having the victory at the end.
Yeah, well, you definitely don't want a 12-page story, self-contained 12-page. How do you sell that? Right? 12-page story.
Hey, you know what? They have an entire thing on YouTube, and this has been big since Vine, where they do 7-second movies. It can be done.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. And an anthology, I think it works better, right? You got your 12 pages. And I think that's where like Ben Soto's doing great because his stories are pretty cool. There's a couple of like how many pages per story? I don't know. We got that Bolt Action that I've been catching up on. Bolt Action, a lot of stories in there. Like it's an interesting read. I'll say that. You can do it, but as a standalone, what's the point in backing something or buying a book if it's just like a 12-page story? And there's not, it's just like, that's like I don't know, what would that be? Like a $3 comic, $1 comic?
That would be pencils down.
Yeah, but I mean, how much should a book like that be if it's cut and dry and there's not much, it's not deep, it's not so profound. I'll give you an example of something that's worth the money.
What if you made it deep and profound, though?
What? Well, what if you made it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, what if you did 12 pages that was like by the end of 12 pages, you were like, whoa.
I'm going to show you exactly how that can be done, but it still needs to be done in a collection, in my opinion. Bad Space Comics over on Instagram. Now, I have looked for this guy has a book.
Zombie.
What's he saying? Go ahead and read it.
It says Black Riding Hood.
Oh, good call. I like Black Riding Hood though. That was, but I love John Malin's art. The story is pretty basic. It's Red Riding Hood, but with vampires in the hood, and it is like a 10-page story. And I was happy to buy that book, and I was not let down.
It's a black protagonist going against vampires.
Yes, and he's a kid. He's like Red Riding Hood, but he's black, and he's Black Riding Hood. And he has machine guns, and it's John Malin's artwork, and it's fucking badass. Oh, no, they're not vampires. They're werewolves, which is actually even cooler.
Dude, that's Blade.
Nah, dude. It was cool.
That's good.
Yeah, man. And he just put out, by the way, he just did launch part 2, and I've already backed it. I think everybody who ends up watching this should go back that before it's over because, yes, I did. Nice. Of course, I'm not going to turn that down. Hell yeah, man. John. So the way John Malin does shit is once the campaign closes, that's it. That's all. There goes all your chances to get that thing. So go back it because it's his. I think his work is totally worth it. I have never been let down by anything he does.
Zombie said he got the box.
Oh, I'm jealous, man. I wish I could have got the box. I don't have that kind of money, but I do take every like penny that I have and I fucking put it into campaigns that I believe in.
I am John's guru. What up, JD?
All right. I've got how do I make this full screen without all the extra commentary? I'm going to share screen real quick because this is over on Instagram. They are one panel. I think most of their stories are 10 panels.
Okay.
And I'm not sure who the artist is, what the art is. It seems like the art was before AI, so I don't think it's AI art. But this is an example of like deep stories that are really good, and they're 10 fucking panels long.
But they kind of spark pretty heavy.
Bro, I think that they spark my imagination. So here we go. Panel 1. Even broken, the suit is still alive. God damn it, I'm fucking it up already. Right here. Okay. Is there a way to exit out all this to make it bigger? Anyways.
Even broken, the suit is trying to keep me alive.
Even broken, the suit is trying to keep me alive. It extracts water from my urine so I can drink. Sloughed off skin so I can eat. Marches even when I sleep. But it's not enough. I've been walking too long. There's no more energy left in the loop. Pitiless new equations take hold. Sacrifices must be made. So the suit takes my arm. That's pretty fucked up. Oxygen, water, protein, energy. It means days more travel. We press on. The other arm. Then my legs. Servos guttering, but ultimately the load is lighter. Circuits snake around my brainstem, hijacks and stimulates the body's functions, freeing up my skin, muscles, organs for ingestion. Tiny machine surgeons snipping, pruning, eating. Then it starts on my face, my cheeks, my nose, my ears, my tongue, and finally my eyes. So I never know if we make it home. The end.
That's pretty cool.
Dude, exactly.
That's what I'm talking about. It can be done, sure.
Yeah, it can.
So,
and that's an excellent example of it.
So, would you spend how much money on like this? Is what like even with all those panels, like you give each one a page. It's like 10 pages. Actually, that'd be like 5 pages. Yeah, it's 10 pages, but it's like 5 pages. Anyways, I think he has a collection, and it's last I checked, it was not cheap. So I'm kind of hoping he does like a cheaper version. But he's got them all on Instagram, and they're all freaking awesome like that. The Soviet Union's moon ships flew in secret, and then it's got some weird fucking Russian shit going on there. Every detail classified. And then Agban, Cosmonauts unnamed. Stories unwritten. Fates unknown. That's a pretty cool panel. And those who were lost, comms wrecked. No one can ever know how they climbed.
How high they climbed.
Oh, how high they climbed. How close they came. And then more gibberish. And who breathed their last. Who breathed their last, on the brink of immortality first. So I guess they're trying to say what, they're the first ones on the moon? Not as good. There was one that had to do, I think I've actually read it here, but it was like taking the taking the life energy of basically the afterlife. I think I might have read it on here before. I think it's this one. No, it's not this one.
That first one needs to be a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, that's the first one that I read from him, and I was like, wow, that's actually pretty good. And he's got all these stories, and I think they're all good. Some of them are definitely better than others, but all of this, really, man. I'm curious
about this artwork on these now because it's varied, but it's good. Is it good? Like for why?
This was in 20.
Like does it look like actual art to you, Peter?
Man, at first, this was before AI started coming out. Now today, it looks like AI to me, but I swear this was coming out before AI was a thing.
This and some of this they've got the at least intentional approach to like the penciling stuff like that, but like this right here. That doesn't look like actual pencil work to me because of the atmospheric perspective, the gray tones. But
it's digital. It's digital, most definitely digital, at least.
So how do they accomplish that digitally?
I mean, if you were to take a photograph from underneath a rocket and then take a picture of yourself with like a hard hat on, and then use a particular brush, you can accomplish this pretty easily. That's not like this is not like so profound that only AI could do it.
No, you're right about that. But
the composition is
about
good.
This is that atmospheric perspective, but also and there's something to be said for the perspective and everything, like you said. But like the geometry, that is something that so many people have such a hard time with, and that is time consuming.
You know what I know? What more than that? I think you're right, and like all the wires and shit. The way they separate the foreground and the background, that's like a level of skill, especially kind of black and white.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say especially because black and white's kind of how you'd want to do that, but then add color.
You'd have to have such a level of skill to pull that off manually.
But you know what? That's what annoys the shit out of me. It's not. It's like that's a fucking normal. That's like standard, dude. That's the standard of drawing, right? Is being able to do that. But now everybody's like, wow, that's got to be AI. Now maybe it is AI. I don't know, but that's the fucking standard, man. Is being able to separate foreground, background, being able to do geometry. There are techniques. You're taught how to do that shit. Or you can teach yourself how to do it.
I know. You're not wrong.
It's fucking annoying when I see people looking at good art. Now, I don't know what this is exactly.
Okay, I don't disagree with you. However, when was the last time? Okay, two things. When was the last time you saw somebody pull off a piece like this manually? And when was that done for an Instagram post?
Okay, I have a good example, but it's also it's a good example and a bad example. Rob Hunter did a piece for Death Raider. His cover is why I backed that book. It was fucking amazing. Now, everything after that, when I started seeing the pages, I was trying to sell myself on, this looks great. And then the more it came out, the more I'm like, this is like getting worse and worse. And then all the drama happened. And I was like, damn, dude, what the fuck was that? Because that cover was amazing. And that was last year. right? Or 2 years ago when I first saw it. But
see, I think this moves away from like the common tropes that take place in those golden age comics that we're tired of seeing. Because these aren't about damsels in distress. These aren't about mad scientists that you have to stop from taking over the world or, turning people into lizards or some shit. And it's not about patriotic propaganda, which was very much part of the comics realm back when World War II was taking place. Everybody was taking on Hitler, Superman, Captain America, what have you. And, Mighty Golden Patriot kind of takes on Nazis in his book too. So,
Indiana Jones.
But stuff like this steps away from that because, again, you're not being limited by what you can put out.
Check this. This is my favorite story of his. And I read way too much into this fucking story because I want to see the movie of this fucking 10 panels, dude. That's how good I think this writer is. It began with power, 0-point energy squeezed out of the void, tentatively at first, and then in useful quantities. Clean, inexhaustible energy extracted from an unguessed at disequilibrium in the seething vacuum. Enough even to draw us back from the precipice, to unpeel capital's death grip on our throat, to reach for the sky. Even despite its impossibility to probe the curious effect that made the energy itself exploitable, for there was structure there, a world, impenetrable to the machine eyes, but weirdly forthcoming to biological investigation, to life, the human senses, to envoys, copied and inserted into this other world to report back. Gray shadowlands at first, and then forms emerging, animals, people, the dead. An afterlife, the anti-entropic nature of biology impressing itself into the vacuum sea, imprinting our lives into the ether, and no hunger there, no death, a lingering ash-softened continuance, fading out of over millennia instead of our short span on Earth. Believers and unbelievers reeling at the godless revelations, the veil ripped from our eyes, and more too, for as our envoys soon related, this shadow world was fading. Where our thirsty machines punched through, where we drew power to feed our new empire, their universe was coming undone, dissolving, our departed loved ones, and our own future salvation melting away at our own hand. And though we clamored to close the taps, to retreat from the universe, there was no way back. Our multi-world civilization sustained by the blood of that secret country, the price of immortality too high to pay, lost, even as we laid eyes upon it. Eternity burned from the sky by our own mayfly lives. Fucking, I want to see that movie, dude. Isn't that awesome? In order to enhance humanity, we are taking away eternity. We're feeding off of eternity to extend our lives on in this fucking reality.
This guy's a really good writer. What's his name on Instagram?
It's Bad Space Comics on Instagram. Bad
Space Comics.
Yep. The Mansion Press. Let's see. Man, get the book. He's got the book. I want to say it was like $60.
What's up, Mo Biggs?
Well, that's got to be a pretty big book then to be $60.
Bad Space Volume 1 and Snow Wanderer Volume 1, $54. Sci-Fi Pack, Bad Space Volume 1 Deluxe, Snow Wanderer Volume 1 Deluxe, $119. Now that is a fucking hefty difference. I wonder what the Deluxe comes with.
I don't know.
So if you just want the Bad Space book, $40.
What's going on, Mo Biggs? Nice to have you in the chat.
Anyway, so that's an example of I guess, like we were saying, these short stories can be done correctly, right? Mm-hmm. They can be done profoundly. You could even add more dialogue and exposition to those.
But that's also an example of really deep kind of storytelling, which going back to the original thing, that's not really a golden age style of storytelling.
No. But that's what I want to, I guess, bringing it back around. That's what I'd like to see. out of storytelling now, right?
Yeah.
Any one of those 10 panels could be turned into a mini series. You could stretch those out into an entire graphic novel.
Yeah.
Well, what you're saying is that you want layers to your storytelling, which Golden Age comics did not do. You want deep, like, thought-provoking ideas.
Yeah.
You want deep, intimate relationships. You want characters to, like, combat each other. You don't want everything just to be, honky-dory all the time in your comics.
I also don't want politics. I mean, to a degree, I don't mind politics, but I'm sick of fucking propaganda more like being shoved in my face all the time.
Well, let's be fair. Propaganda was huge in WW2 comics, Golden Age and Silver Age.
But it's campy. Like, that's okay. That's a little different. Maybe it's not, but I like going back and reading like some G.I. Joe, right? Because it's like, what's up, citizen? Like, look, we're going to go take out some assholes. And here's our new fucking weapon. We're going to blow the shit out of these guys. And I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. Let's go. Where's Snake? Snake, get in there. Well,
that's my whole argument on like the new Superman movie. Everybody was saying was political. Just because you use places in the Middle East doesn't mean that we're trying to reflect what's going on with us right now.
I agree.
We needed two. We needed two invented places, Jarnapur and Baravia. Baravia is actually in DC Comics. Okay, that's where Count Vertigo is from Baravia.
Yeah,
and it's made up, and that's a place that we can go to, and we might run into Count Vertigo later on with the Teen Titans or some shit. Who knows? But what I'm saying is they made a place that made it to where Superman was worldly, not just contained to America, right? Even though he's about truth, justice, and the American way, that's always what he's been about until recent. But
I think Mo Biggs got it right here. That's what I'm saying. It was pro-USA propaganda for the U.S. market, not fuck the USA propaganda for mainly the U.S. market.
Also, I got to say, as a punk rock aficionado, so they have the Mighty Crabjoys in the movie, right? Like that's the punk rock band in the movie because there's some references to like punk rock stuff. When I saw that, I was when they talk about punk rock stuff in a Superman movie, I was like, oh, okay, let's hear what you have to say. This might be a point of contention. I might have some things to say about this.
The problem with punk rock is that the new shit.
As a fan of punk rock, like a genuine fan of punk rock, who will easily talk about his own brother when he's trying to make a point. I'm okay with the Mighty Crabjoys.
Genuine punk rock. The fucking modern shit that they call punk rock, we started seeing seeping into fucking punk rock, and it was all this fucking weird PETA people, right? Which the PETA people I'll take any fucking day of the week compared to the madness we have now. Remember when that's the shit we had to deal with?
Yes, the truth. Remember the truth, guys?
Chickens are nuggets, not food. Or chickens, like nuggets are friends, not food or some shit. I still have those stickers. I have a bunch of those. Those are funny.
Oh, come on. You only need one album when it comes to punk rock, and it's called Dookie.
Actually, I wouldn't put that in punk rock. No, man. Even like old school punk, the actual, to be honest, I wouldn't even be part of like the actual punk rock.
Bad Religion.
Bad Religion, but that's part of what I'm saying is old school punk rock, which is actual punk rock. Sex Pistols, Minor Threat, Misfits.
Yeah,
what does that fucking say? What'd you say about me?
Yeah,
but then we got Skater Punk. Now, Skater Punk's what I'd be like subscribing to. That era was that fucking right on my alley. I love Skater Punk. But Misfits is great. I love Misfits. I'm not a fan of the Ramones. Sorry, guys, I'm not.
Wow.
But I kind of. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Ramones. I enjoy their music, but I'm not like a big fan of them.
Just so like beaten to death.
Sex Pistols are all right.
And Ramones is just like. I've heard it so much. I can't do it anymore.
We had a friend that was way too into it. I can still do Misfits more than I can do Ramones and Sex Pistols.
Right.
And actually, I could probably do Sex Pistols more than I could do the Ramones. But I'd rather listen to Bad Religion, Pennywise, even like No Effects before Pump Up the Volume. Or even
anything
Pump Up the Volume.
Hermosa Beach. in the 90s was amazing. I don't care if you were like sitting on a sidewalk playing Broken Tree Branch in Hermosa Beach in the 90s, you probably wrote something awesome.
The second I went into a mosh pit and I was dressed like me, and some weird fucking haired bitch was like, "What are you doing here? You're not punk rock. You don't look punk." And I was like, "I'm done. I'm out. Fuck this." And
I'm
guess
not
what
letting that person tell me. I'm not letting that person tell me anything.
Then the same shit happened to comic books. It happened to movies. It happened to fucking TV. It happened everywhere. They are infiltrating everything. This fucking softy. Anyways, back to like Golden Age comics, because that's a sore spot. That's why we're here. That's literally why we're here. Oh fuck yeah, Lagwagon's badass.
I can't tell if Mo Biggs is talking shit about Lagwagon or not.
You solve your streaming issues. Otherwise,
yeah, we're not on Riverside right now. We're on StreamYard. That's the difference.
Bro, the fact that you even have that reference, respect. That's not a name a lot of people know. Lagwagon, man. Hell yeah.
You have good taste.
We went to a NoFX show and Lagwagon opened up. It was
Southern Cal.
We got to see him before.
Nice.
The lead singer died.
You're familiar with The Line? That was another one that I really liked back then.
Yeah, The Line's badass.
What, Sublime?
SoCal. Not Sublime, The Line.
Line.
Yeah, we used to make the rounds over at Warped Tour back when it was
I got to see Social Distortion at a venue in Orange County. Pretty stoked about that.
Yeah, that's cool.
I have not been able to see Social D, but that sucks.
So
it's good for you.
Is the issue that we're just like so used to getting like more graphic novels like Watchmen and The Sandman these days that we just nobody cares about Golden Age storytelling anymore?
Retreading. It's all derivative. Nobody's getting.
Was good. The Sandman was good. I know I fucking don't like that author. I don't like him. He's a piece of shit. And I'm actually, like I've said before, the TV show, you get rid of he took shit that was insignificant and he made it gay. So it didn't affect the actual story being told. And I don't like it, but the story was still good up until that point. We all know the point I'm talking about. The point where the story ended and the woke agenda fucking the last third of that season one.
I don't know if I saw the last. I don't know if I watched the whole thing. So I saw parts of it. I was like, okay, cool.
It's good up until this point.
And so now apparently I didn't catch like that whole.
Dude, there is a point. It is the last third of the season where the story ends, and now we're gonna fucking go woke, and then we have the whole fucking. They go balls to the wall, like. Balls to balls. Balls to balls with that woke shit, man.
Sandman?
On the Sandman series, the one on Netflix. Now, the book was good as well up until he did the same thing in the book.
I'm thinking of Moon Knight.
Oh, no. Sandman was good. Yeah, they took some insignificant shit, and they're like, oh, this is going to be a gay character. Oh, that's going to be a gay character too, by the way. And it's annoying because it takes place in the past where the shit wasn't as prevalent. Whatever, I don't care. The story was still good. It just was bad after the Sandman got his shit back and everything was fine and done. And then the tornado thing happened. And now we're gonna continue with a completely separate story. It has nothing to do with what we've been talking about. Now we're just gonna tell a story that has to do with this fucking I don't know, this cult woke fucking frat house.
Yeah,
and what they're gonna deal with their I don't even. If you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about.
That sounds like the new Wednesday show on Netflix. I don't even know why the fuck Megan's interested in the show. It's like
my kids like the show too, and I couldn't watch it.
So stupid. Just have them watch Riverdale and then put a gun to their mouth. It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
Riverdale was good.
Riverdale was not good. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
That's
that
was
a master class in how you take a Golden Age comic like the Archies and you implement them into today's society and today's style of storytelling.
You know what you do with Archie? You fucking hire what's that lady, that prostitute? You hire her to start introducing like crippled lesbian characters into the Archie series. What was her fucking name? I can't remember her name. It's a good thing I can't remember her name, but watch. Let's see if Google knows. Woke, crippled, gay, writer, lesbian.
You know, her name's gonna pop up.
Hold on. Multiple authors. Hold on. Let me be more specific.
Mo Big says, I was never into Sandman, but then again, I never experienced a menstrual cycle.
I'll take it. I get it. Holy shit, dude. Google, you are a sexist and a bigot and a racist. I would type woke, crippled, gay, writer, lesbian comic books, and the first name is the one I'm thinking of. T. Franklin.
T. Franklin?
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
She's the one that wrote the comic. She was writing that comic book character that controls animal spirits or some shit. And then there's that scene in the taxi where the two lesbians are talking, and the character that has the superpower like has a giraffe like talking to her or something. She's like, well, that's too bad because giraffe tongues are very velvety and smooth, and she's an innuendo for fucking licking vagina with a giraffe tongue. And it was kind of like no place in a fucking DC comic book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, so Vixen?
Oh, that's right. Mo Big's right. EVS was talking about her on a stream recently. That's probably why she's in my head. But T. Franklin.
I thought you were talking about Animorphs. Yeah.
Do they have giraffes?
I mean, if they can change into animals.
I remember hearing her name a lot more back in the day.
Right.
And she was a writer for some Marvel comics and the Archie comics. What did she do with Archie?
She's the one that they needed a checkbox. They needed to check all boxes. And so they hired her to write a crippled black lesbian woman in the series so they can have Archie be PC.
She was on your boy Zach's shit list.
Yeah, back in the day, like 5 years ago, her name was all over the fucking place because she was, what the fuck are you doing hiring? And they hired her because she called him out at a convention, if I'm not mistaken. She called him out at one of the guys at a convention saying, why don't you hire these women? And then they're like, well, what women can actually do the job? And, you know, as a hooker does, she's like, I can do it. I got this.
Oh, God. Let's see. She was...
Oh, she called out Mark Waid. That's right.
She called out Mark Waid for his book Strange Fruit, I think. Well, what was Strange Fruit about?
Now, that's a problem with modern comics.
That just sounds gay.
Like, the problem with getting too far away from Golden Age, which, I mean, we're going towards the future, right? So we got to figure out how to fix this shit. But problem with going too far forward, or maybe too fast, is you get fucking T. Franklin's in there talking about giraffe tongues.
This isn't a going forward or future thing. This isn't an advancement on anything. What this is, unfortunately, I think this is just a terrible example because I don't have a problem about anybody being like gay or any like portion of the flag.
No. If they're bringing that shit into Marvel Comics.
Yeah, this is just a super extreme example of let's, like you said, check some boxes so that we can. What was that whole initiative thing that they were trying to do? A couple
DEI,
of years ago?
the DEI initiatives.
It was part of the DEI thing. This is an extreme example of that. I wasn't familiar with her. I'm reading up on her now, and it's like, oh my God! Like I understand.
She's just one example, but that's also, you know what? To be fair, and on this point, that's not lazy writing. She wasn't writing point A to point B. She was writing like point D to point D. You know what I'm saying?
God.
Or point V to point V.
Mo Big says Strange Fruit was about a black Superman type character in the Jim Crow South. Strange Fruit was a reference to an old song about lynchings, like how fruit hangs from a tree. I mean, that sounds like an interesting story, but not much you could do with it. I guess it all has to do with execution at this point. Ha! Get it?
You know, the thing is, oh, I get it. Yeah, that's funny stuff. Okay. My thing on this, like, I'm seriously like looking at this and I'm like, okay, so talking about story writing, this is kind of one of the things that gets in the way nowadays, specifically, is instead of focusing, and this is a huge point for me, instead of focusing on putting together a good story, on crafting something and taking somebody through the thing, I'm afraid like T. Franklin is like just one of those examples where it's like, let's throw the story to the wind. And like you said, check some boxes. And
so that's where I'm going to say shit like that is the reason I go running back to Golden Age comic books. I just want, you know what? After reading her shit, my ears are bleeding. My eyes are bleeding. I want to just read fucking Superman being about a good guy. You know, he like saves a cat from a tree or something. That's all I want to read. I'm looking for entertainment, like not some fucking lecture.
You know, I want to say the same thing of like YouTube stuff. Like one of the things is that, you know, I just want to go back to like, I'm just going to make like fishing videos because I just want to, you know, for people who are out there and they're not able to touch grass, I'll go touch some grass for you. And then you can experience it while you're like online because the world needs more of that, period.
Speaking of Golden Age, there were a lot back then. Like there was, I guess, Western-esque, but there were these hunting, fishing comic books, right? It's just like Tales of the Wild, right? Where somebody would write they'd write about their fishing adventure, and then somebody would draw a couple of pictures. You didn't have to get crazy with it; just a couple of illustrations to the story. Essentially, that's what it was, right? It was illustrations to a story. When I think of Golden Age comics, it's kind of what I think is mostly illustrated news articles, essentially.
Well, see, that's the thing. There was this,
even though it wasn't always news.
Well, back then, like, it was limited in what you could actually, like, put on a page, right? Not just because of what was allowed, but because of what could be printed on the paper. Like, is it going to be gray? Is it going to be just watered down colors with the Ditko dots and Kirby dots and stuff like that? But it was very, I don't know. Back then, it was definitely more about writing stories for the kids than it was about adults who grew up with them, right?
Yeah, I guess kind of, because kids were reading comics, but was it just kids?
You wouldn't give Sin City to a kid.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, but the first Batman comics,
absolutely no
problem handing that to a kid.
I didn't read.
I'm just saying, like the audience has grown up, and that's where the darker, more, you know, layered storytelling takes place.
Video games are doing the exact same thing. Like it's one of those things where it like started like Super Mario Brothers was anybody. That was for kids. It's like let the kids do that while mom goes and does like stuff. It's something that we can just push them off on the TV for a little bit because TV sucked back then. Kids didn't want to watch TV. I mean, not that they didn't want to watch TV, but you had 3 channels. You didn't have a whole lot of options.
I would go ahead.
Oh, so I think that it's like comic books are doing the exact same thing where it might have started off as something that was for kids. It has now grown to something that is not necessarily for kids.
No, that's
been something for kids. It's not like they're going to want to read it. They're in a different age in society.
No, you can go back to indies. You can even go back to like the 70s, and hence why the Comics Code Authority was even started was because some of those Creepster Tales or those books, they're comic books, so they're deceptively for kids, right? Because they're comics, but they started getting kind of out there, and parents were like, "Why the fuck is there nudity in this comic book?" And my kid reading about like sex and shit. Now I don't know. if the Comics Code Authority fixed anything, because it just kind of separated that from indies. It made comics safe to read for kids up until like the 2020s and the 2017s or whatever.
Mo Biggs is
a good question.
Mo Biggs says instead of returning all the way back to the golden age, they should adopt the last known good configuration, which would be around the 80s and 90s.
And I think that's the best era, and I think
but you can't sit in one thing. That's part
you
of the thing.
Move.
There is like every generation is growing on every other generation, so it's not like you can just sit on one generation of anything. You can't sit on one generation. Who wants to sit here right now and play PlayStation 1 video games?
I have them.
There's a growth and a development to everything.
I actually have PlayStation 1 video games on my little game console thing, my little Game Boy. I play them all the time.
and somebody like I would dearly love if we got moved into a society and I know this is like a huge societal change. I am totally cool if we went back to like full on 90s, where we didn't have cell phones. We had the landline with the 20-foot cord. And my daughter rode around on a bicycle, and it was NBA Jam was the highlight of your video game playing thing. $60,000 a year was like an amazing salary kind of stuff. Like I'm all right with that, but with the bad, be ready for it.
There's a catch to that. You'd have to give up the internet.
I am totally fine with that.
I think I'd be fine with that too. But that also means that everything is coming straight from the fucking television, right? And the newspapers. Meaning
Which
you don't
channel?
know. Doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. There's no cross-checking verification. There's no more of this fucking like mass communication. You'd have to sever yourself.
To get your
you would have to sever yourself. You'd have to sever yourself from from being able to discover the truth, essentially, and live your life believing what you are told. Because that's what we were in the 90s.
Sources where you were being told this stuff are more trustworthy.
But were they, though?
Not totally, just more.
Were they? Because we're learning so much shit about
they were more trustworthy. I'm not saying they were. I'm not saying that they were like the epitome of trustworthy. Absolutely.
If there's one thing we've learned in the past,
more trustworthy then than they are now.
There's one thing we've learned in the past 10 years is that the news are fucking liars, right? 100%, and that they have always been. Okay, after time and time again, we find all these these false flags, all these news stories that we come to find out were not true. Everybody was lied to, and they still believe the lies. So to go back to the 90s, you'd have to go to that time where you just have to accept that you're being lied to, right? I'm sorry, Mo. What did Mo say? I didn't.
And we're okay with it. Like we just go into the echo chamber on social media.
Yeah, Mo Biggs says, I can really sympathize with Stanley's take on getting rid of the internet, but I'm sure I'll change my mind once the show is over.
I respect that.
As soon as you come back to your senses.
Yeah.
I swear.
I mean, I love the 90s. I don't want to go back to the I don't want to go back to the 90s because I want to move forward and bring all the good shit. Like Mo was saying.
Culture. Period, bar none. That was where the human race peaked.
I agree. Yeah. We need to bring all the good that was in the 90s, all the epitome, because it's better now. Like, we can actually take all the cool shit from the 80s and 90s and
cool shit.
Put it into a thing now. And then, but not lose the, what we have, what we have gained. What we've gained is honesty, I guess. I don't know. Like, we've uncovered the fact that.
Like, what if we?
Well, that's the problem. What do you do as a fucking as a species? The human race just basically in the past fucking less than 20 years have discovered that they have been lied to since the beginning of fucking mankind, right? And we're learning more all the time.
What was the president?
The conspiracy's always been there.
Yeah,
but there were conspiracies. And there wasn't any real way to mass fucking prove something. You know what I mean? Now you've got 4chan and shit they'll fucking pinpoint the stars in the sky to find fucking Shia LaBeouf's flag on the fucking field.
What do we get from that?
Are you saying you want to go back to where you weren't informed?
We got cancel culture.
I'm saying I want to stay informed, but I also want to take and impress the good shit that was cool and that was awesome back in the 90s, like talent, like effort, you know what I mean? Yeah. And good culture onto the next generation and make that a cool thing again. Like that is possible. You don't have to get rid of the internet and go back to landlines, although that fucking phone was pretty badass.
You know what was badass? Being able to go about your day, go and do things, and you are not glued to a fucking device every single moment of the day. You go out and do things, you go play outside, you get fresh air, and then when you get home at 6 o'clock,
yes, Pee Wee Herman.
That is when people are going to call you. They only call you because of important things. They don't like call you over bullshit because they know there's a limited amount of time that there's going to have for like making phone calls.
You know what we need to bring back is the fucking phone book, dude.
Yes.
What's going on, Will Studios? He says staying informed is a massive waste of time.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. Staying informed, not staying informed, but being informed, right? Because now we have these fucking people who've been taking money. They've been taking all the money we put in taxes, right? And we wonder why the fuck nothing's getting better. It's because now we know why, right? And we can fix it.
Okay. Well, we do know why.
We're trying to fix it. It's getting fixed. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be something that happens overnight. It's going to be a long, and even after Trump is out of office, it's not over. It's just getting started. We got to fix fucking decades of malfeasances and shit. We got to fix
the same
everything.
Thing in the 90s about the 80s and 80s about the 70s. Like that doesn't change. There's always going whenever you have a system of of government, especially when it's something that there's just far fewer checks and balances because it is a two-party system. We can get into that conversation later on. But there is going to be a level of corruptness in a system like that. In any kind of government, particularly a two-party system, there is going to be some corrupt levels of government, and it doesn't matter what you know about it because that isn't changing a damn thing.
Well, if you try to bring it out to the masses and try and pinpoint, hey, there's this secret agency going on, you're just going to be going down the main road and get a bullet in your head.
But that's what I'm talking about. Because we know that now. Before it was like, oh, it's just some rando guy tried to blow up the World Trade Center. Now it's like we know everything about that motherfucker in minutes, and we know exactly why he did it and what he was rooting for, where his bank accounts are. You know, we know where the money's coming from now.
To upper level of government, because then we don't know about it. Like we don't know any more about upper level.
Maybe not yet, but come on, man. In the past couple of years, that kind of shit's not flying either.
And I'm not saying that, I'm not like a proponent of let's just throw the veil over our eyes. I'm not trying to be that guy. And I'm not saying that we don't need to try to fix things. We absolutely do. The thing is that the idea that because of social media and Reddit or 4chan, we have some additional, that is the benefits versus all of the stuff that we had in the 90s. I'm not buying
the
that.
problem the problem with the 90s was that we were living off of shit we didn't understand, right? We were living life. We were Super Nintendos and Super Soakers, but we didn't understand where that shit was coming from. Now we do, and it's like, okay, maybe that wasn't the most legit thing ever, and we can maybe, and I'm not some fucking SJW saying we need to save fucking whatever, some country. I'm not even going to go down that road.
You're using an argument of a 12-year-old's mind and peripherals of his world versus a 30-year-old man who was your dad at that point, knowing more than you. That you're just talking about not having the veil taken out from over your eyes yet. You're talking about still being young and not knowing.
The 90s. You're saying that I'm looking at the 90s from the perspective of me as a child in the 90s. Right.
Yeah.
But that our parents knew more about what was going on in the world than say I did in the 90s.
Right.
Like they knew that the reason the fucking Bay of Pigs and all that shit happened, right? They knew about all the bullshit, right? All the shit the government was doing to people.
Right.
They knew about that, and I didn't back then.
Right, because back then we were too busy watching stuff like this.
I don't think they did know.
Here we go.
But that's a good segue.
If my computer would load.
You see, that's what I'm talking
I
about.
like this callback to 90s internet.
Yeah. Where's the
All
dial?
you need is that
sound. What is going on? There it is.
I do like the vibes of the 90s, and it was a lot of fun, but I don't think they were. I don't think they were as aware as we are now. Obviously.
You hold it, you hear it, you taste it, it's right. You got the right one, baby. Yeah. It's irresistible, uncontestable, tasteable, and intimately wonderful. You got the right one, baby.
Yeah.
This is excellent, Jake. This is it. Can you pause it on Ray Charles, please?
Because I'll tell you what, you just proved my point. We didn't even know back then that he was blind. He wasn't blind.
I was just gonna say, do you feel better knowing about that commercial? Like, you feel better about that commercial knowing that he's not blind?
Right. 100%. Every time you saw him doing shake a girl's hand, you knew exactly that he wasn't blind.
It's okay that he wasn't blind.
It's
not okay. It's a lie.
It's just like Michael Jackson's voice wasn't that high.
Or what was it? The guy who wrote the soundtrack.
Now, hold on, man. You're blowing my mind with that. If it wasn't that high, then what was that noise?
I'm just saying, when the cameras were off, he had a very deeper voice.
I will say that's true. What did knowing about Epstein's bullshit, what did that gain us? Well, I guess there are still the new Epsteins, right, that we don't know about.
The argument on that is that it's like that cover-up is
the best one's 9/11.
We experienced back in the 90s about what was the first gate? There's so many gates now. I don't remember what the first one
Watergate, Gamergate. Watergate. The only one that matters is Comicsgate.
So, but we went through the same thing with Watergate, like where all the gate things started. Like, it's the exact same thing. It's the same thing with the JFK, assassination. Like back then, even in the 90s, we were like, trying to figure it out, and all the evidence got covered up. And what's going on?
What was it? JFK was trying to get rid of either the CIA or the FBI, one of them, and they weren't having it. JFK was about to expose them, and that's when he got the bullet in the head. Kind of like when Charlie Kirk started putting it together that Jeffrey Epstein was a friend of one of the Islamics, and suddenly he was put to rest.
Well, sure, they're happening all the time, but here's the thing. Let's go to the extreme. Let's go to 9/11, right? We know so much about 9/11 now that we didn't know back then, and nothing has been done about it. Who is getting, punished for that shit?
We are.
We are. Civilians, but people know what the fucking truth is now, more of the truth at least. I don't think the truth has actually come out, but nobody's doing anything about anything. So the question is, do we know more, and do we give a shit?
Mo Big says, they deleted and destroyed all that shit back in November when Trump won. They would have been a lot bigger idiots had they not. Sadly, Pam Bondi is that big of an idiot.
You see, that's the conundrum we live in. Oh, man, they're so smart. They definitely would have destroyed that shit, except we know that person isn't smart or whatever that case is. I don't know anything about that, but the fact is, it's there is a fucking question of whether or not they're smart, and that's why we don't hear about it, or they're not
it's
smart.
Do you still believe that it was actually Muslims that took out the Trade Center, or do you know a big boy that we took out our own Trade Center?
That's what I'm talking about. Like, I think that they took them out. They definitely took it out. But the question is, did we help them? I think that then when the question of who they is, that's when they start to get into like some real crazy territory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who they is, and then you're like, how far down that rabbit hole do you want to go? I don't know how far I want to go, but I know that everybody knows that what we've been told is a fucking lie, and everybody knows it. Nobody's doing anything about it. What can you do, right?
See, it was really weird.
Just let it happen again.
That I've ever with all my mind blowing Saudi went through was the Hollywood rabbit hole, right? And I'm talking everything, like where they had like parties, like after it shows the Golden Globes and everything. There's a party after that where they bring out cakes that look like babies and they eat those cakes.
Yeah. And the people, they poured like the syrup on them. Granted, I would love to have fucking a shot or some. I'd like to lick some of that syrup off of some of those models, but that's like some dark shit. I'll take it.
Who they them is. Yes.
Yeah, right?
See that concerned look on his face as he read that could be a person.
Just don't focus on my face. It changes sometimes.
Well, do you remember? Oh, who's that?
Lizard people can't grow beards. I don't know if you noticed that.
Since when? That sounds like something a lizard person would say.
Look at every lizard person they have ever been accused of being a lizard person. None of them have beards.
Who's that one black weatherman that was on
proof
on Fox during the morning? And
it's real.
His catchphrase was, and now let's see what's going on in your neck of the woods. Some black weatherman or meteorologist was on Fox News, and then he had a glitch out live on stream during a parade. Did you ever see that?
Who? No. Who did that?
Some Fox News meteorologist. I forget his name.
He glitched out on stage, or he glitched out like he was in a parade, but then he glitched as if he was on a green screen and not actually in the parade, or glitched as in his face morphed into a lizard person
for like a good solid 5 minutes, not blinking, speaking, and a weird ass look on his face.
I was at a Rancid concert once and the CD skipped. I was like, damn it. Come on, Rancid. I liked Rancid, but the CDs fucking skipped. You remember that, Stanley? It was when they came to Corpus.
You what?
You remember when Rancid came to Corpus? I guess it was Warped Tour or whatever came to Corpus.
Right.
Rancid was on stage and the CD skipped. And I'm implying and not implying because it happened. They were not playing. They were not actually playing on stage. They were dancing to a fucking CD that skipped, just like people mimicking. You remember that?
No, but I also want to say, like, I don't specifically remember that, but I want to say that might have been like 311, not Rancid.
I'm pretty sure it was Rancid. I want to say it was Rancid because it was that show that we were at the fucking the line. We were like hanging out.
People in it. That's like the easiest music in
the world to play. That's why it's so fucking annoying. And we were hanging out. That's that year that we were hanging out with the line and we took their flag.
Yeah. I remember that. I know the year you're talking about. I'm also
wondering if
Avril Lavigne was playing that year.
In Peter's defense, a lizard person would be well connected and not drawing covers on Fiverr.
Thank you. It's Sixer now, by the way, not Fiverr.
That could just be a backup
whole extra $1.
Maybe his mission is to brainwash his 5 viewers.
I'm like one of the lower level reptilians where they're like, bro, you get on Fiverr, just I don't fucking. And I'm like, I'm on Sixer now.
We need you to infiltrate Fiverr.
And we need you to get into Fiverr. And I'm like, I can't do Fiverr. Well, then Sixer. Get on Sixer.
Yes, we know. God.
You know what?
What's that?
I gotta go. Hold on. I'll be back in a minute.
All right. But yeah, these videos of these MK Ultra glitches are hilarious. Have you watched any of these?
No, I really try to stay away from like the conspiracy theory stuff. It gets hard to watch after a while. Now that having been said, like I do enjoy the good rabbit hole every now and then, and I enjoy like a good conspiracy. I just have to take it in small doses.
Oh yeah.
And I am familiar with the whole MK Ultra thing.
Yeah, you think that they actually died down and stopped doing it? Peter's got to drain the old lease. He brought it right back around. Then the awkward laugh. Look at that icon. He made the connection. His avatar. Well, supposedly that's supposed to be a skull, right?
It's a human skull, yeah, from the underneath.
Sorry, guys. I had to go fix something real quick. Okay, good.
You're like,
it's good. All right, good.
oh, you should have shaved off part of your mustache just to come back.
All right, or have like tape like part of my neck so that the
no, just put some tape on your face.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Oh yeah,
it's a human skull. That's my pirate flag. Yes, I have a tattoo. I tattooed it to myself. It's a funny story how that logo came about.
So I'm trying to find this indie book that I was recently thrown on to check out. Have you guys heard of the Triskel sisters?
We not since you posted about it, but I was looking at it.
All right,
I got things to say.
I'm trying to find. There it is.
You know what's not bad, but 80s storytelling that I thought is pretty good. Some people don't like it, and I don't understand why. But it's one of my favorite comic books ever fucking written.
They actually did.
The Weapon X. This is one of my favorite fucking books, dude. And that's why I got the artist gallery fucking the gigantic fucking edition. This book is fucking badass. You would not get this in Golden Age, I'll tell you that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like Golden Age, there's a reason that it died and stayed in the past. It's because it's not intriguing anymore. Not that it was,
but it is wholesome and comforting when you get fucking T. Franklin writing shit.
Yeah. Let's see. Stanley's going to slip up and say, guys, I've known Peter since the day he was hatched. He's no lizard. They will easily forget.
You were dressed like a lobster when I was born.
That was after you were born.
Oh, I thought I was always told that you were dressed like a lobster when I was born.
All right, here we go.
Oh, I might have been.
We'll be having the creator of this on next week to talk about it. But since he's got this website here up, it's on Linktree. I guess I can put it in the chat if anybody ever wants to check it out. But sorry, Mo, it is going to be a manga. It is a manga book. But I wanted to get people's opinions on the art. And since we have an artist on the panel and one in the chat, I guess we'll go ahead and take a look-see.
Yeah, take a look at some of that art, because what I looked at, the artwork, I don't remember being manga.
So
no,
if you check out the link that I put down there in the chat, you can read the digital first issue for free. So I thought we'd take a look at the first issue together.
Click on it, because I don't remember being manga. I remember it being pretty cool looking. It's like as manga is...
As a chocolate diet, who doesn't know the first thing about
it doesn't
artwork,
really look like manga. It just looks like a black and white indie book, but we'll find out. All right,
that's
everybody
not manga.
Here we go. Art and story by Blake Canvas. That's his. That's
I like
his
that face
name.
in the foreground right there.
Yeah,
Bruce Willis.
A lot of expression.
So I will say this
teeth.
looks like a self-insert right here. This guy with the horn helmet.
Is that what he looks like?
Oh yeah, if you check out his Instagram, that's him. But you can see these ghouls and everything. You see these young children. You see these men with burly beards. You see this woman with the crown. But I have no idea what it's actually about. Part 1, stop reading. All right, well, I guess we're done with that.
All right, well, it's good seeing you.
Let's see. Simo, they know I like manga. The lizards are trying to distract me. See,
That's how
even
we
he
get
says
you.
this ain't no manga. Where's the big eyes at?
Yeah, this is not. I had to not take manga.
It
I
counts as
never.
a manga if you
Yeah.
read it backwards.
Is it read backwards?
I like how the moon or whatever kind of looks like an eyeball at the same time. That's a pretty cool little look.
Hold on a minute. I thought that the instructions, which I thought were weird, I thought they said to read it like you'd read a normal comic book. Because I remember looking at this, and I do remember seeing the instructions on how to read it, and I thought, why would you put the instructions on how to read it normally?
Right.
Unless everybody was so used to reading manga that now you have to reprogram them. Right here, instructions. That's normal reading. So why would you put instructions on how to read it if that's the normal way to do it? Unless everybody is fucking programming, and we're doing a I Am Legend shit now where everybody is a fucking zombie and you're the only one left and you got to reprogram everyone.
All right. So, like every other fucking fantasy book, you got to lay out the island. So here you go.
Yeah, I like looking at topographic maps and shit.
Yeah, for the record, J.R.R. Tolkien never had to do that.
But I will say sometimes it's necessary when you're not willing to put the effort into a good map. Don't bother.
You're like putting the places on the map and telling where
I've seen
things
some
are.
maps that are like, bro, I know how you did that, and that's lazy shit. That's like a Heitfeld map created from just what is that called?
Everybody always puts a compass at the bottom of the map, right here. Where the fuck is the compass?
Well, it could be on the right side.
I'll tell you right now
I'll
what
tell
direction
you.
north is.
Yeah, but hold on. Do you even need to know north? Is north even a thing on that planet? North is a thing here. It points to the electromagnetic poles. But do you
Shadow
need a
Punk
north?
in the house.
What's up, Shadow Punk? Hey,
So
Shadow.
this book is for dyslexics.
I'm actually going to be getting a hold of you, Shadow. I don't know if you're open for gigs on 3D design, but I have a 3D model that I am looking to get made. A simple one. It's super fucking easy. If you're available, I'm going to be hitting you up soon because I'm going to need like a 3D printable thing.
First official page.
And Shadow Punk is badass at that stuff.
Real quick, Jake,
Because
I sent you a link in the private chat, and I only bring that up because what I'm looking at art-wise, like
I'm liking the
weird.
artwork.
What I'm seeing here is not the same quality as what I'm seeing over here, and it's not a huge discrepancy or anything. It's the same style, but it's also it's interesting.
It's Berserk inspired. I'll give it that.
Oh no, we'll get to that, Stanley. I see what you're
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. I see, and I agree with you. The lettering is fucking not even
Atrocious.
Photoshop. That's like Microsoft Paint.
Like that's not even
lettering
trying.
right there. Yeah, that's not even trying right there.
At the very least, you can do that with just do it letter by letter, word by word. Don't type everything into the one text box and just put it on there.
That's where mangas fail. Even though mangas actually have like personality, good manga actually has personality, even though it's typed.
Sir,
That's
tell me
bad.
what you think about this art, Corey and Peter.
I like the art in general. There are things I could nitpick, but honestly, it's interesting to look at, which is the most important part, right? Even if the artwork itself is like, that sucks, you can actually have weird, crappy art that it's interesting to look at because of the weird ideas.
So my
This
boy
is
Eric
actually-
Withers is the protagonist.
Yeah, right. That's Rob Hunter's protagonist, that's for sure. But I actually like this artwork. I'm not even saying this is bad artwork. I think this is good artwork. Should you use Comic Sans?
You always use the
at
font
the bare
Comic Sans.
At the bare, I'm gonna no. At the bare minimum, use Comic Sans.
Oh, what would you prefer over Comic Sans?
Not Times New Roman. No, bro, come on. You've done books. There are 100 better fonts than Comic Sans. Comic Sans is the bare minimum.
Corey makes a good point. Need more babes. Too many shirtless dudes. Oh, don't worry, they're in there.
I'm not going to say there's too many shirtless.
I'm not going to go. Hold on, real quick. Go up real quick.
Okay.
I'm not going to talk shit about the perspective of that guy's arms right there, the forearm in the background. After the fucking drawing I just did,
yeah,
which I'll show right here. I fucking did a drawing, and of course I'm drawing it from this angle, so I'm not going to show it, but there's a stupid mistake as an artist when you're drawing, and it's a stupid, like, don't ever make this mistake, and I don't know why I made it. Don't draw at this fucking angle, right? Because then you're going to look at something at a certain perspective, and it's going to look great, but by the time you're done, it's going to have a wonky-ass fucking back leg and back arm, while the forearm and the foreleg is, like, super, like, I wonder if I can even get the angle right to show you where it looks right. I don't know if it's fucking
rotate it a little bit
possible.
more there.
Yeah, like this.
No, you got to go full Jan Van Eyck on that thing.
Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, that's that's about right there, right? There we go. That looks normal. So yeah, don't do that shit. Draw it straight up, like that's how you do it. And I was being lazy, and I fucked up. I'm not gonna call that guy's artwork out because I fucking made it way worse. I do like this though. Not the font in the fucking text box, but I like the artwork. I like the panels. I like the woo and the thunk. I like all that, and the red and the grays. That's cool. Text
we'll figure
box,
out what this book's actually about after. Okay, there you go. There's your lady, and she's even giving birth. There you go, Corey.
Oh, she's giving birth. Damn, bro.
Even better.
Yeah, that's a weird way to give birth. Standing up.
There you go. Everybody wants to see that, right?
That's actually, I'm more intrigued because that is kind of bizarre to put that in a book. And the baby even coming out. There it is. I'm actually more interested now because if you'll put that into a book,
what
else would you put into a book?
So
this
what we're
was supposed to be on
is a book that we'll be looking over with the creator on next Thursday. This is called The Triskel Sisters. You can find it on Instagram, but we're looking at the LinkedIn, which I put in the chat earlier, if you guys want to take a closer look at it.
In the midst of all this blood, you are a miracle! I just see the bro. Every day, every episode, this is what happens. Everybody should like and subscribe, and then go watch all the back fucking logs of every episode. This is what it is.
I'd rather see a prequel where the baby is being made. Yeah, there you go.
Well, actually, funny thing, that's Bolt Action.
Bolt Action, that's a good one.
Yeah,
and you can find Bolt Action on Fun My Comic. Actually, you get.
I like the artwork.
Really
it's very good, interesting artwork. Very interesting. The stories are okay, but it's worth the read.
Yes, it's art.
It's interesting read. I'd actually like this. I kind of like this artwork, by the way. Like, not just the fact it's got like tits and pregnant women and I don't know, babies coming out of vaginas.
Oh, that's what he meant by Mir A. Cole. Okay, look at that. Mo Biggs calling it out.
Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't even catch that.
The most important word.
If you're gonna like even go lazy with the fonts, I mean, not to use Comic Sans or whatever.
All right. So this is called The Triskel Sisters, and we'll be checking it out with the creator next week, next Thursday.
Yeah. And I'm sorry,
See,
and bro, if you're watching right now, I'm gonna ask you about that. Like, who's your editor? Who's checking the shit?
I don't know what it is, and maybe you and Corey can speak to it if Corey's still here. But why does it seem like it's easier for artists to make more lucid arts like this, like kaiju squid character versus like a human anatomy? Why is it easier to do that?
Because
there's no anatomy to follow.
The uncanny valley. It is so easy to recognize if you make a flaw in a hand, a foot, or a face. The human eye picks up on that stuff. It's so easy to draw a squid because a squid could be like anything, you know. But
I just saw
you
your
have
message,
a recognition
Stanley.
of like human features that makes it really difficult.
You know what?
Charles was the editor. Checkmate. He was blind.
That's funny. Hold on, I've got something to share. Oh no, you know what? I'll share it later. It's something Stanley was sharing.
The art's not horrible. It's kind of intriguing.
When you don't have an anatomy to follow, then like you're saying, Uncanny Valley. When you don't have an anatomy to follow, it's easy to fucking get away with shit when there's nothing to, that your brain is automatically going to connect. If you draw a human body, like I used to draw the biceps, right?
Yeah.
I used to draw them like on top, like. And I look at my old artwork, and the biceps are like on the side of their fucking arm, right? I think that's a common mistake, but you can see that when you know where the muscles should be. But when you draw monsters, which is why monsters are a lot of fun to draw, you can draw them, do whatever the fuck you want. When you draw the max, you can add muscles to there, and it doesn't fucking matter, right?
Yeah. Like in these three panels here, this is two different women. Like I can see this face match up with this panel here, but this is a different woman's face.
Maybe, but not. I don't know, because of the way the panels are set out with the background and the costuming and everything and the hair. I don't think it's so far off. I would say the one in the middle has more effort put into it, which makes it a little confusing, but.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mo Biggs.
But what is this? What is he saying? The art is hit or miss. Some of it's cool, some of it's a bit weak. I agree. The problem isn't even the art; it's the fucking fonts. The shield my baby, I'm fine. That is Rob Hunter fonts right there.
Yeah,
and that's not great, man. Like you could handwrite that shit better. Like this looks like handwritten. Nothing kills it, Dicer. That looks cool. Like that looks way cooler.
Scroll up just a hair.
Isn't that the baby from Superman?
That looks like a.
Scroll up just a hair for me. I want to see both text boxes right here. I got a thought on it.
Oh, no, up more so you can see the font, the bad font with this like handwritten font.
No. Just those two hand ones. So the eyes are they're completely different. The capital eyes, there's two of them, and the lowercase eyes, there's two of them, and they're both totally different. Those are hand drawn. That's not.
Or at least they hand drawn on a computer, maybe.
Well, see down here in this one, it looks like he tried to like embolden it versus give the pain, but it's not bold enough to give it emphasis.
So in comics, generally, everything is in all caps, right? Unless you want to downplay something, you'd put it in small caps. Now, in this sense, when you hand draw it like that, it doesn't stand out that much. Like it's not that big of a deal for some reason. But clearly, he knows that when you look at these other word bubbles.
No,
everything's in all caps.
No, I thought it was manga because that's what the creator says it is. Says it's a manga.
This is not a manga. This is not. I'm sorry if you want to say it's a manga. For one, it doesn't read like a manga, which your directions explicitly stated at the beginning of this book. Two, the artwork isn't very manga-ish either.
It reads backwards.
Maybe he just thinks manga means black and white art, which is wrong.
I don't know. We got to ask him when he comes on.
It looks like they switched artists.
I like the art, but
I hate to be critical, but he misspelled trader.
That's not how you spell trader.
So we need an editor, or at least pass it by a friend who knows how to spell. Like pass it by.
I think this is a good panel right here. I like this.
I'm liking the art in general. I think
like
the artwork is good.
The drawings, the stuff that this artist is putting on the panel, I like the layout.
I like the word bubbles. I don't like, obviously, why put so much effort into your artwork and your word bubbles and your layouts when you're going to put so little effort into the font is the problem. Like we had with Rob Hunter. It's the same problem here. There's also a rule of thumb. You don't want too many words in a word bubble. Like, what was it, 27 words in a word bubble is like the max.
30 is too much.
Yeah. Bro, now I got like weird.
It doesn't read like a manga because when he was lettering it, he realized you can't type backwards. I swear.
That is an
intense.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued to talk to the creator about this. Like he does need an editor. Needs to rework some of his not just the fonts, but like correct the spelling and some grammar.
That's all really nitpicky stuff. Like,
what's interesting is that the font is all caps in the typed font, but the written font it's not. So it's like it's aware of that, and it works in the written font. It does seem to fit. Like I don't.
Although the handwritten stuff's more dramatic, so it's like, why is that proper?
Now, why is grip? Why does it say grip when he's doing all these onomatopoeias by hand, and then he puts grip in there?
Oh, right here.
Yeah, like that's the thing that I have problems with. The artwork I think is pretty good.
You're talking about inconsistencies.
Well, yeah, a little bit, but it's my issues are with the fonts, with that font, okay, in general, and every use of it. The artwork I think is pretty good. It's better than a lot of books that I've backed. Okay, the paneling and storytelling looks pretty cool, and I like this font right here. Yeah, the handwritten stuff looks much better. It's more interesting to read. It fits with the artwork.
Yeah, but that's coming from the monster speaking. That's not the human speech.
Yeah, see? But you just pick a handwritten font or something.
You know, I got to say on this, like, being critical and nitpicky about all the different things aside, this is a really dramatic scene that he's set up here.
Everything I've seen, the artwork is like very dramatic and it looks cool. Like, I think the storytelling visually is amazing. I think it's actually pretty good. Better than a lot of comics that I've seen.
More effort was put in the art in this than Death Raider.
I'm really curious about definitely, on this actually. How did he do the artwork on this?
Digitally.
So, but digital. Yeah, what does that mean? Like,
it means that he did it properly. Like he did it like with your rough sketch, I guess, and then he worked it out until it came out pretty good. The reason I would say digitally is because I'm looking at some of the white hatching on that thing.
Yeah, Mo's got a good idea. If you want to differentiate the monster's dialogue, use a boulder pin for it or something.
The monster's dialogue isn't the issue. It's the regular dialogue.
Yeah. Which could be.
Well, I think Mo's saying to use this font for both the human and the monster. Just make this one more robust.
God. Can you imagine having to hand draw all that out? That sucks.
Are you kidding me? I can hand draw lettering. I've actually practiced in hand drawing lettering. It's not hard.
Oh, shit.
In fact, you can crap out lettering by hand a lot faster when you do it.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Damn, I do like that. Panel. Yeah, that is a panel right there.
Oh, go back. That's gnarly. Who the fuck is that?
That's a new face. Maybe I don't know. That's too small in that word box. Again with the typed font. That typed font is too obvious and it is a problem to read. And it takes away from the artwork is the real problem. I don't care if you put typed font in, but when you have like really good artwork, it does take away from the artwork.
What the fuck does this have to do with anything in the book?
I don't know. If you keep reading, maybe it ties in.
So I like if somebody does a dramatic change of like pace, like let's draw it in a different direction kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But there is a way to do that draws you in versus doing it in a way that's completely sterile and separated.
Now this is different. Like this right here, this is a different font. It's a little different. This is better. It's still that typed like weird font, but you can tell that a little more effort's being put into it.
That's a good shot.
I do like the lighting on that orb being lit and the shadows in front of it. It's an
orb though.
Those aren't trees though. Those are bodies. That's wicked.
Are they? Oh yeah. Yeah. Of course, bodies going into an orb. Is that the moon? I don't know. Like the shadows on that orb look like the moon. Is it the moon? Was that right?
This is some really I don't know where we're going with this.
Yeah, I like that.
There's a lot going on. It's got me pretty intrigued. I'm not gonna.
All right, so this right here, I don't know if this was this white lines over that. I don't know if that's digitally drawn or if that's somebody drew that on a page, scanned it, and then reversed it into white.
Yeah, I don't care.
That's what it looks like to me.
That's different. Like doing it with your actual artwork is one thing, but doing it as an overlay doesn't bother me.
No, I think it looks cool.
It does look cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like Mothman shit right now.
Yeah, I like that. It is intriguing. Like you're trying to figure out what's going on. It's the moon in the background. We got this weird moth creature, some blood.
I'm not really taking time to read it. I'm just going through the panels, and
a price is paid.
Grabs you when you first look at a comic, right? So actually, it's doing that.
Let's take a look at this writing. A price is paid.
I got to step away for a second, guys. I'll be right back.
And that of blood. That's not bad. A price is paid. And that price is paid. A price is paid in blood. Not in that of blood. In blood. Stars and eyes enchanted to destiny. Stars and eyes enchanted destiny. Okay. Alignment is true. And thus we begin the rebirth of old. That's not bad. The alignment is true. Like when you're true and steady. That's a nautical language. You're stay true. If one wing bleeds, the other shall suffer. The mirror, the shadow, without unison, both fall to the great pool down below. Okay. All right. Now you hear her down under the tree.
I like the use of the blood.
I like that. Yeah, and I like that it leads into yes, come this way. That's cool. I like that. Is it like a bee? Is it a moth? You have seen it before, little moth. Petty little moth. Hear the words. Here, yes, come, yes, follow. Louder from within. And then somewhere it says, please. The captcha says, please.
Yes, this says, yes, follow.
Yeah. Now the captcha and the white said, please. And now right there it says, stop reading.
Yeah, but the blood says, yes, follow.
Yeah. And then it says, stop reading. Go home. You're done. The words are clearer. The shadows call. Stop. That's like when I'm reading science books to the class. Oh, yeah, check that out. Damn, that looks like in high school when people start taking I had a lot of people in art class, a lot of girls. They'll take broken mirrors and weird shit. They'll find dead rats and fucking broken mirror and like trees and shit, branches, and they'll glue it all onto a canvas. And they'll write words like fat and ugly and I hate myself. You know, and the mirrors are when you look in the shards of mirror, broken mirror, those are the words that you see, which was like intriguing the first time I saw it. Like, oh wow, you look into the broken mirror and you see yourself, and that's what you think of yourself: ugly, fat, and until I saw it 20 more times at every fucking art competition ever. Not to say that that's what that was, but it reminded me of that.
Right.
Yeah. Anybody who's ever been to a high school art competition, Jesus Christ. Like, no, stop with the glue, ladies. Stop with the glue and the broken mirrors and that shit. Hateful, like the self-hating, loathing crap. Just write a book. The great lens commands thee. The lens is your end, you see. Hurry now. Hurry to the hut, to the tree, or to the 3. Is that tree or 3? I can't tell. 3.
It's the.
Is it?
Oh, down here to the 3, yeah.
The 3. Awaken path within a god. Within a god! Within a god! Oh, you'll see. Shwoo! Oh, awaken fate. Shwoo! That's the sound wind makes, by the way. Shwoo! I like the classic I can't read a comic without seeing the I and not go I.
I will say, for any of the issues with the text box stuff, the onomatopoeia comes out pretty good.
Yeah, I do like the onomatopoeias. They're pretty good.
And it's consistent.
Which is why, but that's why the other shit is like the other font. That's why it stands out so bad, because you see like the shrew is pretty good, but that awaken fate, that's real like bland. Like there's no personality in that. It's font. It's easily recognizable as like Times New Roman.
All right. Yeah, I can't wait to talk to the creator about it. It looks good.
Yeah, I do like the artwork, and there's a lot of good shit to talk about. The book is.
I rate 2 out of 5. All right, well, that's awesome.
That's I do like the artwork. It looks like an intriguing book. That font will drive me crazy though, reading it the entire time. Which I'd actually want to read.
Yeah,
this. This actually looks like something I totally want to read. Especially at the babies and all the blood and the boobies. I want to read it.
All right.
But that font, yeah, it does stand out. What do you think? Is this better than Golden Age comics?
I think this is better than Golden Age comics. I'm intrigued more than I would be with a Golden Age comic.
Hey, I have a thought on that whole Golden Age comics argument.
What's that?
Is it worse when you have a really cool idea, right? Like a book, like a story, and you're so intrigued by it, and you're like, this is what I read, this is why I read comic books, and then you read it, and you're like, it's a flop, it's a complete waste, and you're like, that was such a good idea, and it was completely wasted. It makes me want to go back and read Golden Age comics. And just, you know what, just give me something simple then. If these concepts, if you have a brilliant concept but you can't follow through because you don't want to put too much thought into it, you're trying to just get it out, that seems worse to me than not trying.
Oh, 100%. Pencils Down is a good example of that.
I don't know if that is an example, but I don't know if it's a good example. That was an interesting idea, but I wasn't like, this idea is awesome. A fucking guy.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like this guy, he fucking opens up this pencil, or he like prays to devil or some shit, a Ouija board, and a pencil comes out and starts killing SJWs. And then, you know, you get the book and you're like, oh, that wasn't exactly what I was expecting. Like, that's not going to hurt my feelings. There are books that I've read that I've looked into. I'm like, this idea is really good. Like, this is a really fucking good idea. And then you talk to the artist, you talk to the creator, and you hear their plans for the future of that book, and you're like, oh man, that you are missing so much fucking potential with your concept. Like, this concept is awesome, but you want to keep it here, bro. Not even. Nope. Not even going down that one. I've got another. Are you gonna pull up another one? Nope, not that one. Warmer. I don't even know if you happen to have it right next to you. I don't even know if I happen to have it right next to me. I'm not seeing it. What is that? No, that's not it. There's an idea that we have talked about in recent history that that I was like completely blown away. Really cool idea. And then I read it and I was like, that's fucking awesome. Now I can only imagine where we're going from there. And then I hear the plans and it's more of the same when that concept could be expounded upon. And I'm like, I'm not gonna say what it is because I want all the best for that creator. And I don't want it to sound like I'm talking shit. But I am a little bit talking shit in the sense that, bro, you're like missing so much potential with your character. And that's a shame.
Octopus Cowboy was great. I enjoyed that. Yeah. Billy the Squid, I heard of it and I was like, no, I already got Octopus Cowboy.
For me, I feel bad when someone has an interesting idea with a less than stellar title. That's true too. I immediately off the top of my head come up with a better title. Yeah, like what's an interesting idea that had a bad title? Because I've got plenty of examples of bad titles, but an interesting idea.
Yeah, I have about 600 examples of that on my YouTube channel.
Well, people said that about Brother Kit. Like, that's not a very good title for the one I'm working on. But I was like, the only other thing that you can come up with that kind of setup would be like Agent O'Hare.
Agent O'Hare? For your wait.
Yeah.
Say that again. That isn't for your book.
Just for the
what would be the alternate title?
But the idea
for Brother Kit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would the alternate option title be on that? I like Brother Kit.
Brother O'Hare is not a good example. No, Brother O'Hare sucks.
Agent O'Hare.
Agent O'Hare.
Brother O'Hare. I want to know who said that.
Who fucking said Brother O'Hare? No. Agent O'Hare? No, Agent O'Hare is no good.
Yeah, it's okay, Mom.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah,
I
can't come up with a better one yet. Wish I could. It might come
Brother
later.
Kit? No. Brother Kit's fine. Brother Kit's fine.
Yeah, I like Brother Kit.
That's a fine title. It's I would say presentation, maybe like the impact of Brother Kit and why it's called Brother Kit, maybe a little bit more in the advertising of it. Maybe that's
the marketing,
because your character's name is Kit.
Yeah,
I understand the brother part. Like he's like part of like a group, and we're like brother, sister, yo.
Right.
So he's like Brother Kit. But Kit's is a name. So there needs to be like maybe more emphasis that that's his name. But then again, you have changed your some of your advertising on that. So I have to double check.
A little bit.
See if it fits.
Oh, Tank Ferret in the house.
What's up, Tank Ferret?
Hey.
Nice.
All right. I got something to share. We'll check this out real quick. I don't know why, but I love Terminal Montage.
This video is sponsored by ExpressVPN.
I'm glad you're here, Tank. Let me get you on the show.
Yeah, no shit.
Navi. Get the Pepto Bismol. The Station is under attack.
Hey, Link. If we could all get over our sense of tribalism and see the other side as people try.
I like this humor.
Link,
You punch through the head.
listen very carefully.
1 hour later.
Oh, are you leaving? I want you to have this. Take it.
They're back.
Hey, Ocarina, you sped through that shit so quick to get out of there. And that's how you got across that rule.
Bye-bye. Have you ever had a dream that you want you could do so you want yes. Baba.
We're starving. We need rocks to eat, but Dodongo's cavern is blocked off by a boulder.
Why don't you eat the boulder? What? Baba. Okay. Link.
Yeah, but never do.
Stop. Are you using ExpressVPN? Sending data.
That's pretty funny.
He's got a lot crazier ones, man. His ones for a Mega Man are insane.
Oh, dude, I was showing my kids Mega Man from the old Nintendo cartoon.
Yep.
What was that? Captain N.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Your mic, you're muted, Stanley." And they were like,
Captain
"That's
N and the
Mega."
Master Gamer.
Yeah, they were like, "That's Mega Man." He's like, "Hey guys, like, I'm Mega Man."
What up, D-Wag?
What's up, D-Wag?
It wasn't really Weebery though. No monger.
Yeah, I mean, it was Monger claimed to be Monger, but it's not.
Netflix is rebooting it as N-word.
cancel it because it was in.
One day we'll get the
Yeah.
entire 90s canceled. It'll take some time, but the whole decade,
Right,
it'll get
the whole
canceled.
decade. I just think we need. I like the Pee Wee Herman, dude. I think that was good for my childhood. Pee Wee Herman, and then the way that he did his HBO special was like a good way to end the Pee Wee Herman. You know what I mean? If anyone's watched it, if anyone's ever watched Pee Wee Herman and appreciated it, I love Pee Wee Herman. His HBO special, his last Pee Wee Herman gig or whatever, was pretty good. It was a pretty good send off.
Right. I was listening early when I was on my way to Home Depot. Oh, thanks for listening in, man. Appreciate it, Tank. Yeah. Got to get the kids to bed. Like, share, and stay magnificent, everyone. Yes.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate that.
Well, you know, if StreamYard didn't take away our, you know, intros and outros, it'd be so much better than this. But now that we are at the 2-hour mark, it's time for all of you to get the fuck out of here. And I don't need you here anymore. You did your job. Go on.
What is that
Thank
video?
you for being here. Come back again sometime. Maybe